You think he's a chunky white Southerner with a beard who wears a baseball hat all the time.
But I got a feeling, as he says.
Tell me I'm wrong.
You're wrong on a baseball hat.
Cowboy hat?
No cowboy hat,
No hat.
no hat. I'm pretty sure, wasn't he,
He wears a baseball hat.
I'm pretty sure he was an American Idol judge, too.
When's the last time you watched American Idol?
Or America's Got Talent. No.
Okay.
America's Got Idols?
I gave up with Fantasia.
America's Got Voices and Idols.
Speaking of talent, that is a pro transition to get us
We are more transit.
our next episode of Metrics and Mayhem, where we talk all things politics, sexual orientation, and WNBA. As always, my name's Earl Phillips, the Metrics of the Equation. To my right, your left, Dom Melchior, the Mayhem of the Equation. And our brother from down in South Carolina, coming back up, flew him up on the corporate jet for the podcast. This is our buddy, Cafe. Liano.
To Hawk to it, man.
No, I won't do it. So, welcome, gentlemen. How's everybody doing? Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
Got decaf coffee and waters, like true pros.
That's right.
Everybody's doing okay. Jeff, give us the lay of the land down in South Carolina. How's your move down there? What's it like to be back up here?
It's hot. It's hot up here, but it's very peaceful and relaxing down there.
Nice.
How's the racism?
I don't know. What?
Okay, I'm just throwing it out there.
I don't see it.
It's South Carolina. It's below the
We
bottom.
call our neighborhoods plantations. It's good.
That's what they tell you,
yeah,
right?
Nobody
That's what
complains
they say.
about that.
Okay.
How many acres? How many mules?
Dom, what's the racism like in Belmar nowadays?
There's moonshine down there too.
Listen, when you got Belmar Lake, everybody comes together.
It's a good melting pot of
It's
culture.
a melting pot of culture. Ain't no racism in Belmar when you got that lake there to bring everybody together.
I love it. Well, we got a lot to get going on this episode. We're going to start off with something that Dom wanted to bring to the table.
Oh, God.
Dom had a little bit of a rant here that I stopped him on, talking about the South Jersey coffee scene. And Dom, I'm going to tee that up for you and let you kind of hit that one out of the park. What are your thoughts on the coffee scene right now?
As a guy who goes and is on the road a ton, and I'm drinking coffee pretty much everywhere I go, I think I can say I'm an expert in where to get good coffee.
Okay.
Good hot coffee. Now, cold coffee, you probably get that anywhere, and it's probably going to be all right. I've yet to try a cold coffee that was like, oh, this is wildly better than something else. I think it's pretty much the same. But hot coffee, in my opinion, there's an art to it.
Okay.
And I think nobody does it better in South Jersey than Wawa.
I completely disagree.
I don't care. Wawa does the best coffee. And then right after that is a place in Haddonfield called Saxby's.
Oh, yeah.
Go to Saxby's all the time. Great. And they had a spot in One Liberty in Philly.
They did.
Where when I used to work there. Shout out to Cannon.
Shout out to the FA, too.
Shout out
also.
to the FA, too, yeah.
Been there.
And then...
Hey, group.
And then third place, only by default, is 7-Eleven. 7-Eleven comes through.
There are people jumping for joy in 7-Eleven land. They never saw this being coming. 7-Eleven, not a sponsor, could be.
Could be. We may be their only customers.
Very possible, but this is great. Go ahead.
I mean, they're just a front now for international whatever trafficking.
Yeah, but we're all about that.
7-Eleven, number 3, number 4, Royal Farms.
Never had anything from Royal Farms.
Yeah, they're not bad. Number 5, Dunkin' Donuts. Number 6 is about 50 feet of dog shit, and then right below that is Starbucks.
Not a fan of the Bucks.
They're just the worst coffee in the world.
What's your problem with it?
Everything. The fact that it is a liquid, the fact that it, they think they're the best coffee on the planet.
So it's the Starbucks elitism that you have a problem with.
It's the elitism. It's the fact that it tastes like burnt ass.
What's your experience with burnt ass?
Yeah. I mean, listen, college was fun. But yeah, Starbucks is the bottom of the barrel of coffee. I'd rather have Maxwell House instant coffee.
Now that's Belmar talking right there. That's strong.
Starbucks coffee. It is the absolute.
I guess I'll put this out.
Worst
I'll
coffee.
put this out there too. Starbucks, not a sponsor, probably not going to be, but yeah.
Yeah, well,
That's okay. We lost them.
I can be bought.
Small market.
I'm 100%. This is rare. I never agree with you, but Starbucks
Is
at the bottom of the barrel.
Hot
I will not drink something that I can run my car off of.
it's hot garbage.
All right, very interesting.
I'd rather drink 3-day-old coffee pot made leftover coffee than drink Starbucks Fresh.
Oh, that's great though. Leftover coffee, man, for at least 24 hours is great.
What's wrong with you?
You put it right
How much time
you
you
get
got?
nice coffee is awesome. It's awesome, dude.
But I had to go with Dunkin' today just because of the the
Convenience
convenience.
sponsor, that's why I got it.
And you're also going decaf too, right?
Decaf, yeah.
That's
Why?
it.
So what if well, I don't want to be up all night.
It's brown water, man. Come on.
Yeah,
That's what I'm drinking too. I like it. All right. This is a sports gambling podcast like we talked about. And now I guess all things South Jersey coffee related. Corporate coffee. But still, Wawa out of the chute, number one.
Number
Not
one.
a sponsor,
Numero uno.
but could be.
Go.
Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, the boys are going to talk a little hockey, which we've been talking for years, Dom.
Years.
This
Our
is the
favorite
place.
topic.
This is the place to get talking hockey, and there is a Game 7 happening tonight between two teams.
Yeah, I'm looking
I don't know.
forward to seeing Chris Chelios and Martin Brodeur.
Chris Osgood's been on fire.
Yeah, I can't wait to watch them square off again. I mean, every year it's them too.
The hockey,
Okay, so center of the Orioles.
yeah, probably.
Wayne
The-
Gretzky still on that team?
The NHL Game 7.
Yeah.
Let's put it this way. I am not a hockey fan. Maybe.
Used to be.
Is the hockey Game 7 the best of the Game 7s?
No.
You have a World Series potential Game 7. You have an NBA Finals potential Game 7. Is the NHL Game 7 the best? Why or why not?
I'm going to say no. It's not. But it's not the worst either.
Okay.
Because we've only got 3 Game 7s. We've got MLB, NBA,
Mm-hmm.
and NHL. To be honest with you, NBA is probably the worst.
I'm actually agreeing with that.
And then it goes to NHL. But nothing beats a Game 7 MLB in October. Joe Buck calling the game. Everybody's just throwing it out there. You got your best pitchers, your best team out there, and it is electric from the start. In hockey, I don't know. You see one guy out there, and then 2 seconds later he's on the bench.
So
I think that's why I hate hockey so much. You get so little time to watch the guys you want to watch
Because of all the line
because
changes.
of all the line changes. He's out there for a minute and a half, and then he's on the bench for 5 minutes, and then out there a minute and a half.
Tonight, you don't see that coming. You got to think everybody's leaving it on the line for a Game 7, right? You're putting your best squad out there. We're running it. We're coming back from a 3-0 deficit to make it 3-3. That part in and of itself, I think is very exciting. That you can't beat.
When did that happen? That happened this one?
Yeah,
This one right now.
yeah.
Oh, wow.
Got
Last
up-
time I ever heard that happens when the Flyers came back from 3-0 deficit to beat the Bruins.
Well, you have the Canadiens, I think, were the last team to come back from a 3-0 deficit to win the Cup. But going from 3-0 to 3-3 in and of itself is extremely exciting. So tonight, I have watched zero hockey all year, and I will be watching.
Do you know what the line is on that?
Well, no. Last time I saw Game 6 was minus 120 Edmonton. They were home, so I would imagine Florida's favorite.
I gotta find out. If anybody, I'm sure there has been people out there, and I'm sure we can find out. If anybody bet Edmonton to come back when they were down 3-0, and what that would have paid.
Yeah, it would have
You're
paid
probably
well.
plus at least 10K.
Yeah, you're around there.
You know?
Definitely. But it's tough to say, too, because if they're evenly matched,
They
right?
got the best player in the world. Connor McDavid is by far the best player on the planet. You know,
Yeah, very much.
Next to Carter Hart.
But to your point, it's tough to see that value, right? You know, you could be down 3-0, and you're not thinking that they could come back. So it's all a value play,
Yeah.
right? You're looking to hedge this for value. I happen to think that the basketball Game 7 is also the worst. I think we all agree there. And I would put baseball second. I do have a vile just disdain for baseball and baseball players. But I can get past it for a Game 7, but I would put the hockey Game 7 over it.
Well,
Can
there's sometimes I don't understand why we're friends.
So for baseball, I'm kind of in agreement with them. So the energy of a Game 7 trumps the energy of Game 7 for hockey, or a baseball game versus hockey. You have 60,000 people cheering on 20,000 against 20,000 people inside a closed dome.
But we're
But
cold.
you see, but some of the Game 7s that I remember witnessing, it's like you don't bring in one of the greatest pitchers of our generation to come try to close out a Game 7.
But
And
you're-
Randy Johnson.
but
being
you're-
the-
and
Say Randy Johnson, Kurt Schilling going Game 7, 2001 for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Those two just saying, screw it. We don't care if we're tired. We're going out there. We're throwing our arms off.
I can equate that with the hockey, but my problem with the baseball one is that you're seeing these players in probably the worst conditions that they'll face all year.
I can flip
That's
that.
okay.
I can flip that argument with the NHL.
How so? It's all
They're
indoors.
in the worst physical shape they're in too.
As are the baseball players.
But I'm saying, like, hockey players, and they're notorious for it, by the end of the year, every one of them is going under the knife the next week because they're so broken and battered and beat up from the entire season and in the playoffs. I don't know how good they really are because I get 30% of what they actually are.
I think that equates. I think that both sports, and any of them, those players are generally exhausted by the time we get to Game 7. So I feel like that's a wash among sports. But
still get 99 from baseball, though.
You are. And even if it's in 30-degree weather and it's raining and it's a mess, you're not getting a chance to see these players in their ideal environment. At least with hockey, they're on the ice. That's where they're meant to be.
You're never going to get a situation like the Red Sox memory of Kurt Schilling and hockey.
I'm okay without that memory. I'm living a good life.
But, I mean, like, there's certain things like heroics in sports. So a hockey player loses teeth. Okay, they lost a tooth last week. You know, that doesn't do anything. They can't skate on a torn knee. They can barely skate on a broken leg. So you're not going to get those heroics in there.
Well, we disagree a little bit, but we do all agree that the NBA is the worst of the three.
Trash.
So we'll leave that
Still better
as
than
our
the
agree to disagree.
NCAA, though.
So who is
Oh,
Edmonton's playing
going
Florida.
to stretch this episode a little bit. Yeah, Edmonton, Florida tonight. That's a Game 7.
No hockey.
Next up, this is for those people that I guess know me, one thing you may not know is how incredibly uneducated I am in the world of film. There are so many movies that I haven't seen. And one of the things that I do with my family in the spring for the college basketball tournament is to run a bracket challenge, which we did this past year. We did the Tasty Cake Challenge. It was a lot of fun. And America loves a bracket.
Was it a lot of fun?
America loves a bracket. So something we're going to throw out, and I'm going to let Dom kind of riff on this one a little bit, just some opening thoughts to come to mind. We're going to put together the 16-team bracket of famous movies that I've never seen. And we're going to try to whittle it down to maybe a national championship. And these are going to be movies that I'm going to have to comment on and dialogue with you on and give my vote to who moves on. I'm going to let you rank them and pick them. Sure. Maybe we hear from some of the people, but maybe just your overall comments because you've been the most vocal of my friends about my ignorance towards cinema.
I have to get a list of exactly what movies you have seen so I can then put together my top 16 teams of the best movies I think that you haven't seen, because the number one movie that comes to mind for me that we've discussed ad nauseum is Top Gun.
Correct.
And I feel like that's chalk. Top Gun, and even guess what? Top Gun 2, which was just as good, if not better than the original, which was, it's an impossible feat to overcome, but they did it somehow. I'd say those two, I may even lump them two together and just give them one spot. Top Gun and Top Gun 2 are two movies that you should have seen by now, and the fact that you haven't almost makes you un-American.
In a way, it could. I'm looking forward to getting that list together because, like I said, I am definitely devoid of cinema education, and rather than just continuing to blow it off, I'm going to make the investment. I'm making the investment in the podcast. I'm going to make it into the cinema too this summer.
And I feel like there's some sports movies that you haven't seen either.
Maybe so, and maybe it's themed. Yeah. Maybe you have a sports bracket. Maybe you have a drama bracket.
I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to do 4 movies, like drama, comedy, sports, and miscellaneous.
Ooh, miscellaneous.
Yeah,
so
could be
give the audience a little bit of what, like some big name movies that you haven't seen. I know we've been ragging on you about for the last.
Well, it's tough for me to say because I don't know what you would consider a big movie. I can tell you that I'm versed in The Godfather. Mm-hmm. I would say that I'm versed in My Cousin Vinny.
So basically, mob movies. You've seen mob movies.
I'm okay with mob movies.
Italian Casino, Goodfellas.
Never saw Casino.
That may make the list.
Never saw Bronx Tale.
That may make the list. It may. Again, we're doing miscellaneous.
Not really big on action, barbarian kind of movies. No Marvel, no DC, none of them.
How about like so?
Never saw the Kevin. What's the Kevin Costner baseball one? Kevin Costner.
Which one?
Oh, shoot.
There's 3 of them.
No, I got none.
You got none. All right. So Field of Dreams,
That's the one I was thinking
game,
of.
and
Yep,
Field of Dreams, Love of the Game, and Bull Durham.
Nope. 0 for 3.
Oh yeah. So
he's getting hot.
This bracket is getting complicated because I may have Costner baseball movies as like Top Gun. The Top Gun.
There's
movies,
a Top Gun bracket.
The Kevin Costner baseball movies, Marvel in general.
Oh my gosh.
Like there may be
I have an idea.
There's not 16 movies. There's 16 options.
This could be the gift that keeps on giving.
Without
Every
a doubt.
season it could be a bracket of whatever Dom decides, whether it's baseball season.
That's an idea.
Leads up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
like that.
action
Very
movies.
good.
But I'm thinking you didn't even see Back to the Future yet, right?
Correct. None of them.
Christ. Well, probably not even Indiana Jones either.
No, never saw any of the Indiana Jones.
So I think you had to bracket it by.
No Star Wars, Star Trek, none of them.
You're actually going to screw yourself on this one because, like, Back to the Future has to be one line.
The first
Maybe
step.
1, 2, and 3.
The first step is admitting it, right? You have to admit that you have a problem. I'm admitting that I have not seen these movies.
Have you seen The Departed?
No. There's a lot. So we got a lot to work with here, but that's why we're introducing it now.
Directors, Dom.
The rage in me is building.
But this is great because you can funnel it through the podcast. That's what this is all about, funneling the rage through the microphone.
You need to allow call-ins, man, because I'm going to be all over you when I listen to this.
We might do a live episode on it. Maybe we yak it live. That could be a good thing.
When I put this bracket together, I don't want to be anywhere near my kid or my wife because things may get violent.
Oh, and you know what else you got to do? You can't seed anything. You can't, because that'll give it away. Like what I think, like what you think
All right,
you're
so
going to
do we
write.
seed everything and pick it out of a hat?
No, maybe you could do it like that. Or you just create your bracket, but don't put any seedings by anything. Like, don't tell me what you think the best one is or anything like that. Just put 16 movies up, match them up, and then I'll watch them and then move on. We'll do a movie, like a matchup each week.
All right, so we definitely have to narrow it down to one movie because I can't have you watch 3 Back to the Future movies.
I can't control what to say, but you could have me do Indiana Jones 2 and Back to the Future 3.
Indiana
I think
Jones.
the original makes that franchise.
And it can only be one
Indiana
movie.
Jones: The Last Crusade. The third one was the best one.
But whatever it is, like you could pick, and it could be anything. It could be Godfather 2 with Rocky 3. With now, those are 2 that I've seen, but you know what I mean. Like, you can mix and match however
Rocky
you want.
4?
Have
You
seen
saw
it? Yeah.
Rocky?
Yeah, I'm very well versed in Rocky.
Oh my God.
But the stuff that I've seen it
Wow.
1,000 times, so I can either quote it soup to nuts or I got nothing. I'm an all-in kind of guy.
How about The Invincible? Have you seen that Philadelphia local films?
Invincible.
Mark Wahlberg.
You know, I think I did. I don't remember it that well.
It's not really a movie I'd want to put in there anyway. It's an okay.
Yeah. I was
thinking locally,
it's a
I'm
fine
trying to-
movie.
All
Like
right.
Philly-based movies. Is the
Fourth of July is next week, so next week
I'm
you
putting
just
It's a
finish
thought.
movies.
holiday
thought.
movies.
Think about it.
Maybe holiday movies will be the 4th one.
I don't know,
Like
but that's
National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
on it. So we'll get the list of stuff that I've seen, but be on the lookout. We got the movies bracket coming out over the summer to get some interest talking here and then kind of expose where I'm a little weak. One more thing to yak about on this one, and sorry, is the 747s. Jen's backing that in. She just took the kids to karate. Reggie Jackson. There's an interesting little blurb this week that I saw on Twitter with Alex Rodriguez kind of opening up the mic to Reggie Jackson. And, for those of you who didn't see it, it's kind of worth a watch. But your reaction to what Reggie talked about, what he faced as an athlete, as just let's say, a popular U.S. figure during a different time period.
I think it was incredibly vulnerable and powerful. I think it's just a reminder to maybe younger generations that, haven't come close to the type of racism that he experienced. I think now is everything that we experience now is more outrage racism rather than hate racism. Back in the day, back in the day, people got murdered and just their lives just ruined because they hated the way your skin color was. But now racism is just like, oh, you don't believe in the things I believe in? I'm outraged. We hate you. It's not real racism. It's outrage racism. So I think it's a reminder to younger generations that this happened, and it didn't happen that long ago. I think people think that just because slavery ended in the mid-1800s, that racism ended in the mid-1800s. And that is not the case. And I think it was incredibly powerful, and it was a great reminder, and I'm glad he said it. I'm glad Alex Rodriguez asked the question, although I don't think that Dope intended for that moment to have that kind of impact. I think he was just asking a question, and Reggie took a chance and ran with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was great, and it was a constant reminder of how far we've actually come. rather, because people think to this day, we're still so far apart. But like, no, we're not. We're not nearly as far apart as we used to be. And if you hear stories from people who are still alive, and Reggie Jackson isn't 100 years old, this didn't happen a long time ago.
Yeah, right.
This was yesterday that happened, and yeah, it's just I'm glad it happened.
From a broadcasting point of view, like you highlighted, I really liked that they let him riff.
Yeah.
There was no cutoff. They let him run. They let him say his course. And, so much of it for us anyway, I mean, we're all white men. We haven't experienced racism maybe the way that some... Well, yeah, you're getting there, man.
I'm not really.
You got that Belmark white.
Yeah,
That's good. But, it's tough for us because we've experienced it in a very different way.
Yeah.
I can remember being in Italy and up in the hill towns, which is right away coming from a place of privilege. But I do remember being the only person around me that spoke English. And it was a very frightening feeling because I couldn't communicate. My voice wasn't being heard. And even though it was just very simply just trying to park my car somewhere, I remember that feeling of, man, like, I'm the only person here. Like, I'm not relating to anybody.
Yeah, you're on your own.
You're on your own. And when you get out of your own world, when you get out of your own perspective, and you're kind of put in a situation where you're a little bit more uncomfortable about your environment and your settings, like you said, it kind of just adds a little bit of perspective to how you treat other people and how you interact with other people. So...
Along the lines, a similar story when I was in Norway, and you would think a white guy from America going to a predominantly white country like Norway, that I would have zero issues, especially with racism or prejudice or anything like that. But it couldn't be farther from the truth.
Wow.
Because when I got into Norway, we went to this one local pub after we checked into where we were staying. The bartender went, "Oh, you're the Americans that are here."
Whoa.
And that was like what do you mean? We have been targeted already because they knew we're tourists and we're Americans. And the entire time I was in Norway, and this is not a shot at Norway.
Not a sponsor, could be.
Not a sponsor, yeah. I got the feeling that they just did not want us there.
Wow.
At all. The service was always bad. The people were standoffish, didn't really want to talk. As soon as you open your mouth and you're an American, So, I mean, that's in a different country. I don't belong there. That's their country. This is my country. To perspective, imagine having that feeling in the place where you live.
Yeah, right.
In your own country. And especially if a country that you've served in the military and you've had family members who have fought and died for. And you can't do what I just couldn't do in a different country in your own.
Bonkers.
It's got to be the most frustrating feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to keep your perspective because you want to raise your kids to not say F this person or F that person or F this group.
Yep.
But if you did, how could you be blamed for that?
Be compassionate, man.
Yeah.
Be kind. Be understanding, man. Everybody's going through a lot of stuff, man.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah. But I liked it. The Reggie rant. I don't even want to call it a rant, just the preaching.
Reggie riff.
The Reggie riff. I like it. All right. Well, let me pull up. We'll transition.
Speaking of transition, how is Caleb Williams doing?
Caleb, so far, no beef here, man.
Terrible.
No, you're not a fan?
Of Caleb?
Yeah.
He's going to be
So you guys going to neglect to mention that Willie Mays passed away this past week, and now the debate is who's the greatest living player.
the greatest living player, even if Willie Mays was still alive, is still Barry Bonds. And I will argue that Barry Bonds is the greatest baseball player who has ever lived until the day that I die.
I don't know that I can argue with Jeff. What's your perspective?
I don't know. I'm struggling with who the greatest. I wanted to say Barry Bonds. Barry Bonds has 750-something home runs. He played hell of defense.
But just the on-base percentage. Mm-hmm. I mean, I feel like Barry Bonds changed the game forever.
That was where I was going with it, because honestly, it didn't matter if the bases were loaded and Barry Bonds was at the plate.
You're walking
Managers
him.
were walking him. Regardless, they were sacrificing that run.
Wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Think of it this way.
But it was a different aspect. It didn't matter who it was. It could be Randy Johnson right in front of him. You're still walking Barry Bonds. It didn't matter. You know, did Barry Bonds cheat on baseball? Did he do steroids? But who did it? You know, there's guys in the Hall of Fame that still cheated.
Let's not say that doing steroids is cheating, because it's not.
You're just trying harder.
You know,
All right,
just because there's a rule saying you can't doesn't mean it's cheating. Okay. That's just a bullshit rule.
This is live inside of the Patriots.
Yeah, it's just
Right,
a
this is
bullshit
Belichick.
rule to control how
It's a
people.
bullshit answer.
It's a bullshit answer. To control how people want to live their lives. And it's just one way that who's the MLB commissioner back to Bud Selig.
Oh.
Yeah, I was going to say Paul Tagliabue. Bud Selig, wanted to just be bigger than baseball. Bud Selig is the Angel Hernandez of commissioners.
Dude, that Angel Hernandez video you had up with calling outs and strikes.
And I don't even put Willie Mays in my top 5, to be if I'm being completely honest, because let's look at what baseball was back when Willie Mays played. Nobody was pitching around anybody. And you had starting pitchers going into the 8th and 9th inning, even though they gave up, 5-6 runs, and they still were being there pitching, and nobody pitched around. If somebody came up to the plate and there was a pitcher that was like, I'm going to strike out Willie Mays, or I'm going to strike out Hank Aaron, and they didn't pitch around him, they went after him. There are pitchers that never gave Barry Bonds a ball anywhere close to the strike zone because they were that afraid of him, and he still lapped everybody with his stats. That's how good he was.
I would kind of disagree with that because I think the pitchers back then pitched a lot harder or a lot more deeper, like Bob Gibson,
lot
Sandy
harder.
Koufax, Whitey Ford, Warren
What do you think they
Spahn.
were throwing 127 miles an hour? What the hell's wrong with you?
Bob Gibson was 101 miles an hour.
No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. There is not a single pitcher back in that day that throws harder than your average Major League Baseball player today.
And then Nolan Ryan was coming up in the game too.
Not one. There's not. Bob Gibson, listen, okay, I never watched these guys play, but there was no way that Bob Gibson was touching 100 miles an hour the way these guys do it today.
Downhill, maybe.
Not even.
Downhill in a strong wind.
Yeah, strong wind and in a Volkswagen. That's about the only way he was getting to 100. There was no possible way that those guys were touching anything higher than 91, 92.
It doesn't diminish anything Willie Mays did for baseball.
No.
But Barry Bonds, I would definitely say, is the greatest baseball player of all time.
I'm okay with that answer. I'm actually 100% okay with that answer.
Yeah.
This is what we
think
do here.
it's
Barry
a
Bonds.
crime against humanity. That he is not in the Hall of Fame.
Barry Bonds, Mo Vaughn, Edgar
Really?
Martinez.
Edgar Martinez, Rafael Palmeiro,
I love
Mark
it.
McGuire, Sammy Sosa.
Kim Baptiste, come on.
Look at you. Yeah, get Jen on the horn. All right, let's roll it back into football here. I did this last week by myself. I'm going to bring this in front of the boys right now, and I'll have this up on the video when I bring everything into the edit room. But a 12-team draft right now based on average draft position. So this is essentially how the pros see the draft going. If you want to hop in and take a gander.
Pros.
This is where we're at. The only thing that I changed was over here on 24 and 25. Right now, Josh Allen and Pat Mahomes are 24 and 25 on average. So you know that team is not going to take both Josh Allen and Pat Mahomes. So I switched Mike Evans, who's 26, and Pat's 25. So based on 3 rounds deep, Team 1, Christian McCaffrey, Josh Allen, Mike Evans, CeeDee Lamb, you guys can read it all the way down. Any of these teams, if you're drafting right now, which one of these teams either sticks out as I like this spot, I like who they have starting so far, or one that's just like, wow, if that's the way it lands, I really hope I don't get that pick because I'm not necessarily loving.
I absolutely.
Team 5 for me.
Is it a good or a bad?
Bad.
Is it bad? What don't you like about it? So this is a
I would never
Bijan,
take
Travis
Bijan.
Etienne.
Bijan does not belong to number 5.
What's his name?
Bijan.
Bijan.
Bijan, whatever his name is.
Bijan.
Bijan does not belong to number 5.
Bijan.
I call him Bijan, man.
I love
Whatever.
it.
See, I like Team 5 because
I'm
I
showing
got.
accent here.
I like Team 5 because I got 2 running backs. I just don't like the Jalen Hurts pick.
Oh.
I don't think you get that much better value picking Jalen Hurts in the 3rd round as you would picking Kirk Cousins in the 5th.
I was going to
and the 6th.
say Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins, I just don't see the value of picking Hurts there. That's just me though.
Okay.
I mean, I don't mind. I like Team 4, but we had this discussion as far as I still think that the running back rules, even though wide receiver has been the hot new thing and that's what everybody's going after, I still think if you get a squad of running backs, you can make a deep run.
You got to zag when everybody's
Yep.
zigging.
And I do like Team 10.
And
I like
Team
Team 10 is Saquon, Kyren, and Drake
Yeah.
London.
Okay.
That's a good one. I don't like Team 11, although they're gonna, that's a spread offense that everybody would love to have.
You're talking about Houston now, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. That's Hawaii, circa Colt Brennan.
Take the over.
How about that,
Man.
How about I may come off that
I don't want this
know
to go
NCAA
unnoticed.
football, but guess what? I got enough up there.
This guy, Pac-12 after dark. Rest in peace, Pac-12.
Pac-2.
That's right, Pac-2 now.
Pac-2 now.
Man,
look at
I am
that.
impressed.
Yeah, I did do
Now,
it.
here's the $50 billion bonus question.
Sure.
Who are the 2 teams left in the Pac-2?
Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and say
I'm ending the podcast if we get this.
UNLV
Nah.
and UNLV and BYU.
All right, how about the glove and Drew Bledsoe? Those are your 2 clues.
Purdue.
Nope.
Arizona State.
Close.
Arizona-
Washington State was
Washington
Bledsoe.
State was
And then
Bledsoe.
Gary Payton and his son, Gary Payton?
Oh,
No?
Cal.
Oregon
UCLA.
State. Oregon State. Yep.
Who did UNLV? Were they in the Pac-12? They were. UNLV.
No, Mountain West.
Mountain
They're a
West.
Mountain West team. Yep.
I love the Mountain
was
West.
Cal?
That's my favorite conference.
Cal was in the Pac-12. Now they're in the ACC. Explain that to me.
I
But
just-
that's another episode.
I
Cal
love-
is in the Atlantic Coast Conference.
Yeah.
Cal. Sorry.
I love the Big 27 though. That's my favorite.
That's
conference.
coming.
The
That's
Big
coming.
12, 27.
Yep. All right. So right now you said spread offense. You were going. You had me with Colt Brennan in Hawaii. Team 11 with Nico Collins. Go ahead.
It's an okay team, but you really got to smash your running back situation coming after that and get lucky and maybe get somebody who is a backup that gets thrown into the mix from an injury.
With the running backs, take a look at Team 9 though. Jonathan Taylor, Derrick Henry, Devon Achane, back to back to back. What does that do for you?
I just Jonathan Taylor and Derrick Henry. I mean, they're okay. I just think they're on their last leg as running backs, production-wise. You don't know what you're getting out of Jonathan Taylor moving forward. I think that's just a bad team he's on too.
Not a fan of the Colts.
Not a fan of the Colts.
That, ladies and gentlemen, could be our first point of contention as we lean closer to the start of the season because the metrics are very much indeed a Colts fan.
Okay.
So,
Who's their quarterback?
Dude, come on, man.
Who's your
Pride of
quarterback?
Florida.
Anthony Richardson.
Hey, Rich.
Yeah. Again,
I like a
Who?
I like a Steichen.
who's their quarterback?
Oh no,
Ain't nobody.
I'm Anthony
He ain't
Richardson
nobody.
up. Give me a Steichen, who I like. I like a Jonathan Taylor. I got an improved offensive line. I got a Michael Pittman Jr. I'm okay with the Colts. I have no issues there. I can
500
see
team
that.
at best.
Didn't the Colts also just get another wide receiver to go opposite Michael Pittman Jr.?
Oh, if they did, Jeff, you're getting it by me. I don't know, offhand.
I'm just asking general question.
Yeah,
I
no.
don't think there's
Well,
somebody else.
then that even further goes with my point against Team 5. Like, if you love Anthony Richardson to the point where
Oh yeah, get some value. Go
you
get him later.
you get a ton of value, you don't need to pick Jalen Hurts there.
I'm surprised you don't like Anthony. I mean, he's Jameis Jr. He's 30 touchdowns, 30
There
picks.
ain't nobody Jameis. There ain't no other Jameses
There ain't
in
no
this world
Jameis.
than the original Eat That W.
Oh, my gosh.
Jameis. I love Jameis. Shout out to Jameis if you're a fan of the pod.
All right, shout out to Jameis indeed. We've got one more segment.
I may get Jameis Winston to be a fan of this podcast.
I would not
'Cause
doubt that.
That would be something that he would be like, yeah, there's this random podcast in New Jersey.
Come
that
on,
I
he
love."
starts rolling in over here.
Jameis!
Yeah, come on over here. No,
Number
no.
one fan in South
Wrong
Jersey.
house,
What's
wrong
up,
house, bro.
Jameis?
We're over here.
Got the crab legs right over here.
We have one more
Sponsor would
segment.
be the number 4 coffee in South Jersey.
Yeah, we got to hook him up, man. He rolls it with a Starbucks. Dom's like, get out.
Get the fuck out, Jameis.
All right, we have one more segment that we do on Metrics and Mayhem, and this is the fun sports trivia game, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? We're going to pair up Hefe and the Mayhem on this one, and we're going to see how the boys do. And we hope you play along, too. Have some
The
fun with this.
boys
Let's
are
see how far we get. So last week,
boys are
the boys got to 1,000. They missed their $4,000 question.
Yeah, I blame Mike.
I blame Mike, too, even
blame
though
Mike.
he was the one guessing the right answer, but that's okay.
I blame Mike.
We're going to get rolling here. Get this
Oh, and a
up.
big shout out to a friend of the pod, my personal friend, Mr. Bill Colarulo. One of the newest voices on 97.5 The Fanatic. Just getting married. Just got back from his honeymoon. His wedding was fantastic. And, we're going to have him on the pod soon.
He's doing great too, man. He's really come a long way. I mean, the media that he puts out every day is great. Seems like a really
Yeah.
positive guy. Buddy of yours.
And wait till he does his Eagles Insider stuff coming up
Yeah.
this year. He's, in my opinion, he's going to be the top dog in 97.5 moving forward for
Love
the next
that, man.
couple of years. And he's going to be on the pod soon. So,
Very much a shout out, Bill. We dig
yep.
your stuff, man. Keep it going. All right, but that said, we're going to get back into our Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Boys, you ready? We have, we got our 50-50. We've got our Ask Google, and we'll come up with another lifeline if you guys need. You can do an Ask Girl. I got no problem with that. You can ask. He's out there playing ball with his girl right now. You can go say,
Hey, yo, John!
quit with the kid! All right, for your $100 question, speaking of movies, everybody, which of the following movies did not star Tom Hanks?
D.
Would it be A, Forrest Gump? Did you say D?
I said D.
Would it be B, Saving Private Ryan?
He's wrong.
Would it be C, Big? Or would it be D, Casablanca?
D.
There it is. Final answer,
I
boys?
said D. Casablanca.
There it is. Casablanca, very good. It's a $100 question. I love the predictability. What is the team name of the MLS team that plays their home games in Philadelphia? Would this be the Union? Would it be the Celtics, the Avalanche, or the Eagles?
I mean, that's a tough one.
The Sons of Bet. I would watch a Union game before I'd watch the Game 7 of the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs.
And the gods are blowing the wind as
I'd
dominant
watch a
as heresy.
preseason 17U Union game before I'd watch.
Sounds like Union's a final answer?
Yeah.
There it is. Union, final answer, has got it. Heading on to $300, boys. Wimbledon, the oldest tennis tournament in the world, is held in what city?
Wimbledon.
Would it be Philadelphia? Would it be Cleveland? Would it be London? Would it be Baghdad?
Oh man, that's tough.
Baghdad. Well,
See, London.
we'll go see London.
London, final answer's got it for 300. Tom, you got people all over this
Yeah,
room, man. I love that. Your $400 question, getting into your NASCAR frame of mind. What driver raced full-time from 1993 to 2015
I
in a
want the
Chevy
Southerner coming out
with
in
the
this
number
one.
24 branded on the side of their car? Is it Dale Earnhardt? Is it Jeff Gordon? Is it Richard Petty? Or is it Danica Patrick?
It is B, Jeff Gordon.
Final
And
answer?
you know he knows that because there's somebody outside in his neighborhood with a. The only guy drives faster than Jeff Gordon. Flag out in front of his Ford F-150.
Not wrong with that.
And says, "Stop the steal! Love Jeff Gordon."
$500 question coming up. Of the teams listed, which team did Deion Sanders not play for? Be it A, the Atlanta Braves. It'd be the Colorado Buffaloes. It'd be C, the Dallas Cowboys. Or it'd be D, the San Francisco 49ers.
B, the Colorado.
Buffalo. Yeah, Buffalo.
Are you sure that's Buffaloes?
Buffaloes.
Like, was it Bihan on the Buffaloes?
Did you know the funniest sentence in the English language is the word buffalo 7 times in a row? Because the word buffalo has 3 different meanings. So if you go buffalo, 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 it actually makes a grammatically correct sentence.
How about that little fun nugget
Yeah.
right there? That's
Look
good
it up,
work out
look it
here.
up, look it
We'll
up,
look that up.
everyone.
Colorado, final answer?
Buffalo, buffalo,
Buffalo, final answer.
Buffalo, buffalo.
We're all good. $500 for the Colorado Buffaloes. Your $1,000 question. So if you get this, you can't go less than $1,000.
I got this.
Which of the following fighters were not included in Street Fighter 2? Is this Ryu, Zangief, Sonya, or Blanca?
I'm gonna defer to my buddy Dom.
We're going to go Sonya. Sonya Blade was a Mortal Kombat person. So we're going to go see Sonya.
Final answer? Ladies and gentlemen, that's $1,000 right there. Boy, you got knocked out.
Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat is correct. Very good.
Sonya Blade. She was great in the movie, too. My God. You know who played Sonya Blade in the Mortal Kombat movie?
You know who didn't see Mortal Kombat?
Well,
Right
you
here.
know who did? Pete Sampras, because that's his wife.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Man.
Pete
40 no
Sampras'
love.
wife was Sonya Blade in Mortal Kombat, who also was the teacher in Billy Madison.
No, she was in.
Oh, no way. Oh,
What
okay.
is her name? It's I know it's Gretchen Wilson or Gretchen something. She was in.
Let's not worry about it. We got more
She was
money.
in
Semantics.
She was in Saved by the Bell too.
All right, moving on. This is your $2,000 question. You have all your lifelines available to you. In the famous Ali Frazier trilogy of fights, how many did Muhammad Ali win? 0, 1, 2, or all 3?
He didn't win all
He didn't win all 3.
three. You know, he didn't win 0, so that's out.
So if we go 50. I want to say 2. I think he won 2 because I don't remember him losing 2 to Frazier.
I think he lost 2 to. I think he lost 2.
I don't think he ever lost 2 to anybody. I think he lost 2. I don't think he lost any.
Good thing this one's about Joe Frazier and not George Foreman. Ali Frazier, trilogy of fights. How many did Ali win?
Let's ask Google. How about that? Let's ask Google.
You got an Ask Earl, you got a 50-50, and an Ask Google.
Actually, no, let's ask Earl. Ask
You're gonna ask me?
We're asking Earl. Earl, how many?
All right. Well, I agree. He didn't win all of them, and he didn't lose all of them. But I happen to remember Joe Frazier winning one of them myself. I remember one definitively.
I know one definitively. It's that second one. So I'm going to say C2. I think Muhammad Ali.
C2? $2,000, boys. Very good work out of you. Very nice.
Yeah.
Frazier wins the first. Ali wins the next 2.
And I remember, didn't they say, didn't the second one where he kept hitting Joe's like, what's my name, Joe?
That's
what's
correct.
My name, Joe?
And then the Thriller, obviously, at the end.
Thriller Manila.
All right, we're moving on to 4,000. Let's go to your wrestling history here. Miss Elizabeth's first real storyline as a manager for Macho Man developed when what rival fell in love with her? It would be A, Andre the Giant. It would be Ravishing Rick Rude. It would be the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. Or it would be George the Animal Steel.
That's not what I was expecting the answers to be.
A reminder that you have 50-50, and you have your Ask Google.
Wait a minute. Didn't she get bribed by Ted DiBiase when he Virgil to come over? I was thinking Ric Flair, that storyline where he replaced his face and over Macho and all the wedding pictures. That's what I was thinking back in 1991 or 1992. And right after that, Macho slept with Stephanie McMahon and got fired from WWF. I'm gonna go.
Oh, you have to say allegedly. You have to say allegedly. You can't put that out there on the internet. We're gonna get WWE is petty as shit.
Not a sponsor, but could be.
Yeah, we're gonna say Macho Man allegedly slept with an underage Stephanie McMahon. That's why you got.
We're just talking
allegedly.
here. Not a sponsor, but could be.
I think I'm gonna do C.
I'll go with Jeff on this one.
C, final answer?
Final answer.
George the Animal Steel. Early, man. This is early 80s, bro.
Ready WWF?
Yeah, WWF.
Well, you blew it. Thanks a lot, Jeff.
But my friend Dom Melchior, the Mayhem, I'm the Metrics. We'll have this up and running for you on Spotify and Apple Podcasts in no time. Please share. Let people know what's going on here. We're trying to grow this podcast out. So thank you for your support. We'll see you guys again next week.
Shout out to
Thanks.
Reggie Jackson. I'm with you, bro. I'm with Reggie. I stand with Reggie. Even though he was just a monumental